All right, hello to all my garbage people out there. Hope you're feeling good today. I know I am. A little bit of a cold, but got my martini shirt on. You know, whether you like it shaken or stirred, whether you like vodka or gin, we got that here for you. So let's get into it today, though. Our first story here is the big news about Biden calling Trump supporters garbage. All right. So, supporters of Trump, you are all garbage. We are all garbage. On a video call with Voto Latina, I hope I'm saying that correctly, Biden said, and I quote, "The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable, and it's un-American." All right, so that's the quote that has everyone in an uproar, at least the Republicans on Twitter, that's for sure. Let's just check out the clip real quick for you here. This is the actual clip of Biden saying that. If I can find the play button, here we go.
Oh, the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of things is unconscionable. It's
Unconscionable.
un-American. It's totally contrary to
Un-American.
everything we've done. The Puerto Rican that.
So that was it. That's the clip that has everyone in an uproar, like I said. The White House followed up with this and said Biden was talking about the comedian, which was the guy from Kill Tony, the dude we talked about yesterday, talking about the comedian's supporters. In an X post, Biden came out later in the day and said, quote, "Earlier today I referred to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump's supporter at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, which is the only word I can think of to describe it. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. That's all I meant to say. The comments at that rally don't reflect who we are as a nation," unquote. So, pretty similar to some rhetoric like just last week, where Biden said, and I quote, "We got to lock him up," unquote, before quickly adding politically. Right? So same kind of rhetoric that we hear over and over and over. Marco Rubio was at a Trump rally last night and saw this almost live, informed the crowd and President Trump of this, and called out Biden for his remarks and demanded an apology. Nothing was really said by Kamala or Kamala's team. I think Tim Walz was on an interview this morning and made some comments about it. But finally this morning, I think at 9 or 10 Eastern time, Kamala responded saying, "I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for." And that was a quote. My reaction to that is Kamala's actually getting a little better at responding to things. I watched the interview this morning. It was a Fox interview where she was getting off the plane. They asked her about this as well as some other questions, and she actually had better answers than what she had done in the past. I mean, we're all used to the word salad by Kamala, but I think she's getting a little better. Not to say that she's good by any means. She's absolutely terrible. I think I could do a better job of her of answering some of these questions, which is crazy because I'm sure she has an incredible number of advisors and people telling her what to say for every question around the corner. The questions that came up many times now in interviews that we see her saying, what is your biggest mistake? The interview 101 question, or what mistakes have you made in the past that you'd learned from? And she just gives absolutely no answer whatsoever. Or if she does, it's just a ridiculous statement. It's a runaround, but never actually saying she did anything as a mistake, which is, people love to call Trump a narcissist, but think of that. You can't even come up with one mistake that you've done in your life, even personally. I think this is pretty ridiculous in terms of our president or vice president, I should say, not being able to name one failure of hers, personally and or professionally, right? This just brings me to some of my favorite Kamala quotes that we've seen and we've talked about over time. But I just want to give you, the viewers, some of those incredible Kamala quotes. Here's one from Howard University at an abortion rights rally, where she said, and quote, "So I think it's very important, as you have heard from so many incredible leaders, for us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present, and to be able to contextualize it, to understand where we exist in the history and in the moment as it relates not only to the past, but the future," unquote. I had a problem reading that, actually. I have no idea what that means whatsoever. Even if I break it down, make commas, periods, and try to pull sentences apart, talk about a word salad, runaround answer, or runaround statement, I should say. Let's go to the next one of my favorites. This was from a music festival in New Orleans in 2023. She said, and I quote, "Culture is a reflection of our moment in our time, right? And in present culture is the way that we express how we're feeling about the moment," unquote. What does that mean? What does that even mean? I mean, I know Trump, does, what did he call it on Rogan, right? He weaves, he likes to weave in and out. He goes in different ways when he's responding to questions, and Rogan tried to kind of pull him back into the original question. I know he does the weave, but at least it's coherent, right? I mean, what we're getting out of Kamala here is just ridiculous. It's just funny, actually. Here's another one. So this is quite a long time ago, but when Russia was initially invading Ukraine, she said in an interview, "So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that's wrong, and it goes against everything that we stand for." And that's an actual quote from the sitting vice president of the United States. This might have been okay if she was sitting with, kindergartners, my 5-year-old son, right, explaining what's going on in a war. But she's talking to the entire world because she is the vice president of the United States. And I can't tell if this is condescending or if this is just pure stupidity or if this is just lack of the ability to speak, in public, which I would think is crazy since she's held so many public positions, ran for plenty of offices, the list goes on, but to say something like this is just, again, it's just funny. Here's my last one that I'll throw out there. Here's a Kamala quote, "We must together work together to see where we are headed, where we are going, and our vision for where we should be, but also see it as a moment to, yes, together, address the challenges and to work on opportunities that are present by this moment," unquote. WTF. Well, again, it makes my head spin a little bit here. Like, what does that even mean? Why is this person saying this? Why is this person even in a position of power? I can't with this kind of thing. This is just crazy. That said, it is pretty interesting that we're in a moment in time where we have Biden, who is, incoherent at times. Some say delusional. Just kind of, Biden's getting old. He's like the old man that just is yelling whatever he wants to yell right now, right? Not to mention just fumbling on every word, every sentence that he says. It's pretty embarrassing, right? And then you have Kamala, who does word salad after word salad after word salad. So we have the vice president who can't speak well, and the president who can't speak well either. So, like I said, this is an embarrassing time for the U.S. right now, in my opinion. The one thing I will say, though, about Republicans in general, this was probably a gaffe by Biden, like he's done many, many times before. I mean, I do actually think Biden probably thinks the majority of Trump supporters are garbage. That's just, again, my opinion. But this is Biden. It's a gaffe. Biden has made plenty of gaffes throughout his presidency and prior to that in the Senate. I don't think Republicans should cling on to this like it's some huge thing and make some, monumental deal out of it, although they will, because it's election season, and if this gets clicks and, persuades any voters to think differently, they're going to grab a hold of that opportunity and go with it. But honestly, this is a huge thing on Twitter all over the news right now, and I don't think it should be. I think this is just dumb. I think Republicans should let it go. You're going to have Biden doing stupid stuff all the time, like he has been lately, like wearing a Trump hat a couple weeks ago. I mean, what are you even thinking when you're the sitting vice president? It was your former opponent. You dropped out. Then you go to, a union. I think it was a union meeting. Some guy's talking to you with a Trump hat, and you put a Trump hat on. Just why? Why would you do that? It makes absolutely no sense. Right. And some people for a while thought was that Biden, had some kind of grudge against Kamala and the Democrats for kind of pushing him out. I think the guy is just a little senile right now, and he's doing really stupid stuff. Even if he lets slip that Donald Trump supporters are all garbage, which he probably does believe, I think he's just letting these things slip and doesn't care that much. He's going to be gone in just a couple of months. So that's my take for the day. We'll see what transpires after this. But Trump supporters, you are all garbage. I'm okay with that. Garbage is welcome here. Talk to you later.